Hey, yo, what's up? So, I wanted to talk about how women, or I guess the saying that women find guys with dogs attractive. So, was it like 3 years ago? I bought this dog from a shelter because I thought she would get me laid. And, boy, was I wrong. Well, obviously, I'm kidding about that, right? I didn't get the dog just because I was like, oh, wow, chicks dig guys' dogs, bro. I didn't get him. I didn't get her because of that. I got her because I had another dog that died, and I just wanted another dog because it's a good cope. I think it is a good way to keep you company to some extent, right? Because I just, you know, I just travel too much, and I'm always by myself, and there's no hope of ever getting a girlfriend, so may as well just get a dog instead, right? You know, someone else who will just get someone who will put up with me as long as I give her some pets and some food and that kind of stuff, right? And may as well just get a shelter dog, and then almost as a way to see what my dog training abilities were. Because, I mean, I think she's well enough behaved coming from just what I assume is just a dog they kept out on a farm. Because she was just a stray in a farm town. So, yeah. So, I mean, yeah. So, I mean, she does pretty well. Um, Being able to travel and be out of the home, right? She doesn't like bark at other dogs or other people like that, right? Because you'll see those other guys, right? It's unrelated, but it's still related to not getting laid, right? Because I'll see like other because of the phrase, right? They say chicks love guys with dogs, right? But the caveat there is that the guy has to be attractive. Because just like with everything else, if the guy isn't attractive, then nothing really matters. And it's the same thing with dogs, right? Because it reminds me of in college. There was this guy that brought his dog, his puppy, to campus at the end of the day when all the classes were pretty much over. And girls would actually come up to him. He didn't have to go up and approach them. They would come up to him, and and they would talk to him because of his dog and stuff. But think about it. That has never happened to me. And this isn't the first dog I've had. I had a dog, let's see, I don't, since I was like maybe like 10 or something, and then that one died. So what, from 10 all the way to 30. So almost like I've had some kind of dog in my life for basically 2 decades. And I've walked the dogs before, and not once has any girl ever approached me or said something like that. It's like, oh wow, that kind of stuff. I mean, I guess that can be kind of a lie because an old lady did approach me once, and but come on, bro, it's like someone who's old enough to be your grandma approaching you doesn't really count, right? It's like I'm not the gilf hunter, bro. So yeah, it's never worked because you have to be attractive, right? That's a caveat. Because think about it, if some guy had dogs and like walked his dog out for 20 years and no girl ever said anything to you, right? The girl has the excuse of, oh, I just wanted to talk to you for your dog, right? I didn't actually want to talk to you, right? She could use that excuse, right? But think about it, I'm so unattractive and undesirable that that excuse isn't even good enough. And I just don't walk the dog at like the park or whatever. Like I take the dog like into like pet stores, different pet stores all over the place, and so many places, right? And guess what? It's like no girl ever, right? Like I've taken her to so many different Pet Smarts, Petco's, or whatever little local non-chain pet stores are in whatever city I'm in, and nothing. I mean, at this point, I realize nothing will happen. But like I said before, there's always a little bit of cope, right? I always have a little bit of cope before before I go out anywhere. Even if I've already been there tons of times, like the pet stores when I take her, right? Like I always cope. It's like it's today the day when I finally go outside and some what is it, a cutie pie girl will finally want to be my cutie pie GF, right? But no, that's not the case. It'll never happen, right? It just is what it is, right? It is what it is. You know, at some point you just got to accept it, right? But I mean, like I said, I'll always cope to some extent and hope that, oh yeah, bro, I'm gonna go outside and finally get a girlfriend, right? It's like, but no, or finally get some attention, right? I've to be honest, I've lowered the standard, and, and thought like I'll just go outside and maybe today's the day I'll get some attention, right? But even attention is too much, right? It is. And let's see what else. So, I mean, yeah, that the guy went out and he took his dog to the out on the college campus after school, and girls would talk to him and stuff, right? And it's not like he had trained his dog to do anything, right? His dog would still pull on the leash or whatever. It wasn't trained at all, right? Like I know my dog doesn't pull on the leash, right? Like my dog is not not like perfect or anything, but it's good enough, right, to not be um, a nuisance, right, outside, right, and just very misbehaved outside, right? Like so some people will have you'll see that some people will have their dogs pulling them. Their leash is fully stretched out, and you know they're they're being pulled by their dog, all that stuff, right? Mine won't, and like so she's not a nuisance. What is it? She'll be behaved enough, right? But that's still not enough, right? You thought, oh, maybe it's a very low standard, right? Like I'll admit it, it's a very low standard to have. Oh, you have a dog that doesn't misbehave in public, right? It's like, oh, or isn't it like loud and annoying or whatever? Like, oh, that's not asking for too much. But I mean, I guess in comparison to how most people you know have their dogs, right? They'll just leave them in the backyard and they'll bark at anything, right? And it's like I thought maybe I'll cope, and some girl with a misbehaved dog will find it impressive or something. But it's like, yeah, I mean, like I said, I know it's not actually impressive, but maybe their standards are so low, and but like I said, it's a cope. It's definitely a cope, because nothing ever happens, and you know, and lo and behold, still here, kissless, hugless, handholdless, dateless. I guess not. No, that's not all true, but it basically is true, right? Just having one girlfriend, right? Um, to do everything with her like once. I mean, I guess it means I'm no longer all that, but at the same time, it was just basically all luck, right? Like I knew if when it ended, cause I knew it'd end eventually, right? It's like things that are too good to be true are too good to be true, right? Me having a girl actually like me is too good to be true. Her being non-overweight, a non-single mom, way too good to be true, right? Because let's be honest, having a non-overweight woman who's also not a single mom like you when you're an undesirable guy, right? Especially when you're 30. it's basically way too good to be true, right? It's just not happening. And to be honest, even an overweight single mom probably won't actually genuinely like you. She'll just see you as like the best possible choice she can get now, right? It's like better than nothing, right? And what guy really wants that, right? Just the better than nothing. Where it's like, what is even the point of having a relationship with her, right? It's like there's no point of having a girlfriend if the girl isn't actually genuinely attracted to you, right? It's like we're not trying to get a girlfriend just for the sake of saying we have a girlfriend, right? Like I want a girlfriend for the fact, to basically be genuinely desired, right? But I realize that's asking for too much. Because, like I said, once you get to a certain age, eventually you realize, yeah, it ain't happening, right? And, there's nothing you can do about it. Like I said, you either have it or you don't. And, by you have it or you don't, I mean, you got the genetics, you got the bones to attract women or you don't. It is what it is. And yeah, and I guess if I didn't say I was kidding about getting a dog just to try to get laid, right? But I always think about it, right? Women love guys, like chicks love guys with dogs, right? Or yeah, the guys the, but I always think about that phrase, right? And how it doesn't apply to me. And it's the same thing with everything. It's like, oh yeah, women love guys who do XYZ or have XYZ, right? All that stuff, they're not saying the important part of or I guess the important caveat or whatever, right? That the guy has to be attractive. Because if the guy's not attractive, then nothing matters, right? Because everything is an attractiveness multiplier. And, if you start at zero, well, even if something were to multiply your attractiveness by 1 million, well, if I start at zero, what's 0 times 1 million? Still zero. I'm still stuck at square one, right? Like I'm just unable. I'm the minimum looks requirement is just way too high for me to ever reach, right? The my genetic ceiling is it doesn't reach that high, so I'm just stuck at what is it at a I don't even know, a 2 3 out of 10 basically forever, right? It is what it is. So I guess that's kind of it for now. So later. Or I guess it was a nice change of scenery just from the car, cause I guess why not, right? I thought I would change it up. So yeah, that's it for now. Later.